Hey guys, welcome back. Boy, oh boy, do I have a tutorial today for you. So this is my client Melinda. She's been coming to me for about 3 or 4 sessions now. In April, her hair was melted off. She was an on the scalp lightener client with another stylist, and it went south. So this is one of the many reasons why I don't believe in doing on the scalp lightener. It's just all over a lot more risk and a lot more damaging, just because when it does break, it happens to break right at that first couple of inches. And now, I'm sorry guys, Kenzie, my friend, just messaged me a picture wanting to go white blonde from her history 3 years ago, and it just totally got distracted. So I'm shouting you out, Kenzie. Maybe we'll do that for a tutorial. Okay, so back to the video. So this is the thing. I've had a client come in. I never did a video with her. Her hair was the same situation. She has level 2 hair, however, soft black. And it's very thick, was very thick, and she lost over 90% of her hair. The only remaining length that we have is from, I would say, the middle of her head down in the back, where it's more orange. But when I posted her, you always get what you post, guys. If you're a stylist, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So Melinda seen me do her hair, and then it opened up a channel of multiple clients coming in that had the same situation. They had their hair melted off. They were used to lightener on the scalp. I don't do it. I turn it down. The last time I did it was on my client Julia, and we've been doing baby lights ever since to maintain that white blonde. And that was about 3 years ago when I was at my first salon suite when I first opened at Phoenix. This is just maintenance from this point on. She knows the high risk because, as you can see, it gets very thin from the mids down. So this has grown out for several months now. This video was shot back in December. So she let it grow as much as possible where she could not stand the roots anymore. And thank God she did that because it makes it a little bit easier. But this is about our 4th session. So I focus on the new regrowth because she comes every 6 weeks. And then I just feather down into the old subsection to, kick through any banding or any subsection that was left from the last time when we did the highlight. So after I do that, I simply take Olaplex number 2 with my other brush, and I will literally just, saturate those ends really heavy in that Olaplex number 2, just so that if the bleach expands and swells in the foil, it's not going to really affect the hair that's really hanging on by a thread, because that hair was literally see-through, you guys. They were bleaching her to literally white, not to a pale inside of a banana, but white. We all know when you get to that point, there's nothing left of the hair. It's just an all-over mess. She likes it to look like it's growing out of the scalp, solid, like as if we did the lightener on the scalp. And I told her, like I'm going to tell all of you guys, it takes a couple of sessions and doing it very close together to really get that effect. Today is the first day that I feel comfortable enough where we are not going to do a root toner if everything pans out well. And that's exactly what she wants. She doesn't mind coming every 6 weeks. She just wants it to look as bright as possible all the way up. I am not overlapping. As you can see, as we get to the top, that hair is shorter because that's the hair that was fried and dyed. It was broken off to about 1 inch or 2. That's how horrific things can be if on the scalp lightener is not done correctly. Now, there's people who specialize in this that are blonde specialists, and all more power to them. This is not my strong suit, putting lightener on the scalp. And I just know that it takes a lot of not only just the stylist and colorist being good at the skill, but the client also doing their part, which is the other half. And a lot of clients don't do that. They will come in later than that 3 or 4 weeks. They will not use the right shampoo, conditioner, masks, all that stuff, and then expect the good result. But it's very, very damaging. Think about it. You're putting it on all the hair. So even though you get it to the point that it wants to be at that white blonde, when you're doing the roots, it bands out weird because you're only touching that little bit of regrowth. You don't want to overlap or feather through. And it just fades out weird. It does funky stuff. It doesn't tone well. The roots always take and suck up the color quicker. And you get ashy roots that are purplish and then the white blonde ends. It's just a mess. And I feel like highlights, I have more control, and it's a lot better of a grow out and a lot better of an appearance in general. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. What's your opinion? Are you all for the on the scalp lightener, or are you all for back-to-back baby lights that give you that kind of appearance? As you guys can see here, I'm using the Modern Foil Modern Brush by Becky Miller. And it's very, very small. I love that they came out with these new brushes. They have the big ones that are good for everything else. But I like a small detailed brush like my Goldwell brush. This one's even a little bit smaller, and it's really good for those broken pieces and fine pieces around the hairline. When somebody has a little bit of fragile hair on the sides, I will not focus, doing slicing or anything like that around the hairline. I will focus more on doing really tight baby lights back to back to back. We want more of a solid appearance, so I'm also going up horizontal with a horizontal placement. That will give us more coverage instead of going up on a slight diagonal, where that will allow more dimension to flow through. So I didn't do any special detailed hairlining on the sides. I did in the money piece area, but I am going to be doing a mohawk, something I don't do all the time, but I think it's best for this kind of situation as long as you're packing those foils in really tightly. You can see another trick I like to do is use the board and apply the Olaplex number 2 first on those ends. Then I go back in with my product very lightly on the brush and start applying. That will give you more of a real particular placement, because you want to be very careful and not overlap too much. Another thing I want to hop on here and mention is if you are early into your career, or if you don't specialize in blondes or do them 95% of the time, and somebody comes in wanting to do this, you guys, if you do not feel comfortable, do not mind turning down the check. It is not worth the bag, because this stuff is stressful. You gotta know what you're doing. They already have fragile, fried hair. I got a lot of crap when I was doing my other client's hair, and I posted her on my stories, because if you follow me on Instagram at BR Hair Artistry, I post clients every day that I work, before, durings, and afters on every single client, no matter what it is, because I always want people to see the real stuff that goes on behind the chair, what I'm doing most of the time, whether it's somebody whose hair is falling out or broken or in a situation like this. It's real, and that's what we see behind the chair. On YouTube, you see a lot of people, putting out videos that are great and come out beautiful. Like, they don't show most of the time behind the scenes what's really going on 90% of the time. And I want to start getting more in depth and really doing that and breaking it down, so people who are in hair school or people who are thinking about getting into this career can actually see what you're really going to be dealing with on a normal daily basis. So if you're not comfortable with something like this, turn it down. That's why some people specialize in things and other people specialize in others. Do what you're comfortable, but do not feel you need to do something like this just for the check, because it can turn out really bad, and it can also turn out horrific if it goes wrong. So I do blondes 99.9% of the time. I'm working with Lightener, and I feel comfortable doing something like this. I do it all the time. I also got a lot of crap about the other girl I posted, because people are like, why wouldn't you just tone her down? The girl was sick. She couldn't keep anything down. She was being made fun of constantly, and so on. I would include a picture, but I'm not going to do that to her. It's actually, her hair's getting better every time she comes, every 6 weeks. We've done 3 sessions, and her hair's never been better since this whole experience. And I'm doing lightener on it and retouching her roots every 6 weeks. So it is possible. It's about how the client's going to take care of it and how your skill level is. I've done so many blondes. I've done every single situation, but the girl made a good point during the consultation. Like, why would I want to tone everything down and go back dark when I spent several $1,000 doing this for 2 years to get a certain look, and now I lost 90% of my hair? So as long as you are maintaining it as it grows out, I don't see anything wrong with that. I'm sure some people might have hate to leave in the comments, but I am totally fine with doing this, and you guys will see the final results if you keep on watching. All right, guys, so now I'm going to continue packing in the rest of these foils around the front hairline. I am doing them back to back to back. If you've been following me for a while and you're an OG Brett Ryan supporter, you guys know I am not a huge fan of the mohawk. However, in certain situations, I do like to implement it, and this is one of them. If you're packing them in really tight back to back with baby lights, you should be fine. It still gives a really nice look, and she does want to have no root toner on the root area, no tap, shadow, or smudge. We were tapping her for the last 3 sessions just because we were trying to even things out a little bit and so on because of the root area. And like I said, you got to come a few times closer together, like every 6 weeks like she's doing, because then you're going to run through that subsection that was left in the last time. And if you keep coming more sooner, that's why a lot of my white blondes that want to be blonde up to the root, I tell them to come every 2 months, if not at least no more than 3, because you'll always have a little bit of subsection. She lifted fairly well. We let her process for about 40 minutes, 45 minutes, no heat. And now I'm going in and I'm just doing her all over global toner. We are using Goldwell Colorance 10V, 10P. And I'm literally going in as we're at the bowl and I'm applying it like it's a root tap or something, but this is not. I'm just applying it on that root area first because that's the newest virgin hair that's been touched newest. And I want to get it on there, and then I'll run it through the remainder of the hair, and it's just going to be an all over global toner. You can see no bleeding. All those foils lifted very well. No hairs coming out. Her hair's still strong. And it's so important, you guys, to leave that hairline out because that hair is very fragile. The hairline, baby hair, is always the most porous and most vulnerable, and it will suck that color right up very quickly but release quickly. So it always will go purple if it is an ashier tone. Goldwell, for the most part, does deposit very beautifully, and it never really overtones such as something as a Shades EQ would do. But I still like to leave it out until the end. As you can see, I'm just quickly going through, touching everywhere on the root area, then I'm going to work it all the way through the hair. Keep watching for the final results. Alright guys, there you have it. Look how beautiful these results came out. It is possible to maintenance blonde hair that has been melted off and keep them blonde in the process. Now we're going to keep doing her hair every 6 weeks. As it grows longer, we'll start taking and trimming more and more and more. And eventually when her hair gets all grown out of the dead stuff, we'll be able to go in and really fully overlap one session one time, because all this hair is only being touched once, if that makes sense. Let me know if you want to see a video down the road, maybe a year from now, and just keep up to date with this process so I can show you how it will turn out and what our goal is in the end. I love you guys so much. Leave your constructive criticism down below. Let me know if you're a hair colorist, if you agree with on the scalp lightener, if you agree with everything I'm saying in the video, if you agree with me or disagree with me about doing something like this. I want to hear your feedback, you guys. That's why this platform is here. That's why I do these videos, so we can all become better hairdressers and pass ideas along. Leave video ideas for future videos as well. Leave future ideas for future videos as well down below in the comments. I love you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one. As always, so long for now, guys. Mwah.